Peace and blessings, Black family. Welcome to another episode. Do not video placement knowledge born as your host, knowledge born alive. And doing voices of the diaspora. Meet the author series. What happens when you finally give your thoughts a voice? And reading passages and excerpts from my standalone volume in the Voices of the Diaspora series, From Nameless to Knowledge. But first, a word from my sponsors.
Like we always do about this time.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. My yes, oh, yeah. The black
That's your old time to set it straight, you know what I'm saying? My God.
This is a warning.
Yeah.
Come let's wicked and wild.
Let's do it. I'm ready.
I was commissioned by my general to set the record straight, break it down to a single mineral so my people can relate. Yeah, we know about slaves, but what about our great ancestors that built did incredible things at will? You name it, we can claim it. Is it new or is it ancient? Are we the potion or exponent? Children of the omnipotent. I broke it down, prefix, suffix, so rich and then cluttered. Don't get rid of the confusion and come claim you pick up wrong. Devil's an exception to the rule. I don't have effing time, so the white man's the devil. Yeah, I generalize. If you sincere cracker, then you should empathize and spend the rest of your life to prove it's an effing lie. Stay out the way. In the meantime, we got a clean house. Too much times. She-mans and he rise. What happened to the hate rules of both principles? This is not my eye. The situation's critical. I'm willing to expose and dispose of you sick Negroes. Touching our children, creating more sick people. What are we eating? It got us looking old and feeble. No life in dead food. Got us vibing below. Needed frequency. We cease to see the unseen reality. The esoteric scenery. And seem to be dependent, hell-bent. Set up to be sitting duck. Sucking the devil's titty. We from the lands of milk and honey. I'm not finished. Done by a long damn shot. Give me a wall and a chisel. John Hancock. My signature isn't the written, it's the words that I spit in to put the figure in your couple with the I continue this assault, catapult lyrics to critics who hope I bite pillows like George the Animal. Still not faggot, this is real. Black power manhood rap with incredible masculine zeal. Ask your lady how she feel. If she honest, you might wanna punch her in the grill. But don't salve out, brother man, I'll be a king for that queen. To a real woman, a real man always appeal. I don't eat meat or any byproduct that comes from things that bark, cluck, croak or squeal. If the ingredients read like a chemical equation, it probably is, brother, it probably is. Monosodium glutamate polysorbate 80, monotriglycerides, you motherfucking crazy. You too vain to breastfeed, what are you feeding your baby? Inoculated with vaccines for you can't get just by bathing. Warming up your food in the micrograving, laptop in your lap, cell phones, radiation. But I'm not here to deliver somber news, cause you know something is wrong. Making it right is what you gotta do. Police still killing us, children in broken home. Brothers better get on their overthrow before it's overflow. I started with self first and killed the Euro mind. Now I navigate through facts and pseudoscience. Getting dough, trying to stack, buy supplies to survive. We all know what's coming, so don't be foolish, guy. No squares in my cipher, don't nobody circle hate. Practice powernomics and let the money circulate. Every brother ain't a brother, I'm feeling claustrophobic. If I don't cook it, I seldom eat it, especially if not with a doctor ordered. I'm talking Africa, 70, holistic height. When you alkaline, it's easy to channel the mind and focus the fight. Can't forget the spirit which must work with the physical. Black power, brother, don't be a statistic, yeah. I'm feeling good, I was supposed to be dead at 21. Steady trying to build a vegan hood like mental son. For my dudes behind bars, they need to come home too, or be right back in there. His family's so woeful. I keep hearing talk about the paradigm shit. What are you doing between there and our time, kid? If it's bullshit and treating your woman wrong, you'll be gone with the evil ones. You can take this just as a song, but I was ordained to let you know the Black Messiah's back. This is a warning. This is a warning. Oh boy, this a warning. This a warning. This a warning. That's the O. Let's go. Yeah.
Hey yo, oh, forget the warning. Yeah. Let's just attack.
You know what?
Attack.
I feel you. I feel you.
Attack.
I feel you. Matter of fact, Lord, pass me one of them things
sisters was more like cheerleading, you know, giving us the energy. Like the whole room was just turned up.
I was showboating, man. I did like 200 push-ups in a set.
Right,
Straight
straight up.
Straight up, man. What part is on? Yo, the car been blowing me up all day. Word up.
Just got a call from the comrade. He said I need a favor, blood. That ain't nothing, God, but these phone lines is flaming, bruh. Meet me at the spot quickly, hit me to the details. We gotta be sneaky if we wanna breathe.
All right, welcome back. Your brother now is 109. And as I said, we're getting into this volume right here, and then shared a couple of excerpts from the newest volume that I'm working on. It started out as I'll get to that. If you tuned in before in the Meet the Author series, I talked about this book and the motivations and the sparks. This was one of the ones that I utilized for an offering back to the people. Both this volume and the Power of the Black Family volume is dedicated to you, to the family, as an offering for all of the years of support and love that you have given me. So, From Nameless to Knowledge is 100 reflections of purpose and power. Again, a inside look into some of the reflections, some of the life lessons that I learned over the years. So today, I'm going to deal with this volume right here, and read some excerpts and reflect on some of the reflections. If that's okay with the fam. Tell somebody to tell somebody that we live and here. I see my brother Eat a Rep in the building over there on Instagram. Black power to the God and black power to the Black Riders Liberation family. And with my UFC in the building, we understand what I'm saying. We heard that True Champs popping off over here. So shout out to Doc Maki, aka Ambassador O, for giving me permission to utilize his intellectual property in this masterpiece. So this is a look. Both you still here. You had conversations. You understand what I'm saying? We would build, we would add on, and you got conversations. Still coming. So all of these are pretexts and catalysts for this particular volume in particular. The goal is to inspire Black men from whatever vantage point that they do, to be able to share their stories, their lessons learned, those things in life, for our future generation, in hopes that young Black men and young Black women who are listening will share their stories with the greatest possible tenacity and maximum variability in regards to what they do best. So if you're a singer, you're an actor, you're creative, whatever aspect that is, to be able to share your story with the world in that way. So, this is one of the more personal volumes of my own lived experience in peace and in war. So, getting here real quick. And I chose True Champs because that song was one of the songs that my sons and I would listen to over and over. My sons turned in to, Doc Mock and Big Daddy Kane at the same time. You understand what I'm saying? Like right before my eyes, in the back seat of the car, 74 years old. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, man, I'm telling you. So in this personable volume, I wanted to share some personal moments with the onlooker, in hopes that the onlooker would share personal thoughts and ideas with the world, their own discussions, their own build, their own God verses. You understand what I'm saying? So, from nameless knowledge, under reflections, purpose, and power, dedication. This work is sacred. I dedicate it to those who made, carried, lifted, and lived through me. That's my dedication. Then, after that, I began to describe those in detail. To my ancestral lineage, you are the source of my voice, fire, and reason. I carry your dreams as an armor and your wisdom as a compass. Anybody who knows me knows how I feel about my ancestral lineage and our collective ancestry. I don't deal with the ancestors because everybody has ancestors. Our enemies have ancestors also. So mine, our, I am because we are, right? And Buddha, right? So dealing with that from that particular space, I wanted to make sure that every word is poignant and that every onlooker, everybody who actually looked at this particular text or any of the works, that they never see the ancestors. I don't know who their ancestors are. I know who my ancestors are. I know who our ancestors are. And for those known and unknown, I wanted to speak to the essence of this spirit. So to my mother, Mukmina Muhammad, affectionately known to the world as Nadine Gilliard, your presence was my first lesson in strength. You breathe dignity into my spirit and resilience into my name. My father, Mukmina Muhammad, walked in power with humility. He built silently with conviction. I echo your steps. My mother and father were on the streets of New York and New Jersey, helping people get off of drugs, out of life of prostitution, and healing folks from different maladies, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. That's my through line into the world. While my mother was pregnant with me in her womb, that was her work. Her and my father, back and forth between New York and New Jersey and the surrounding areas, teaching on the streets, helping people get off of heroin and crack. Understand what I'm saying? Like literally. And then the hell of their minds. Father had memorized every word of the Bible and Quran and would utilize universal principles and universal law to be able to help people fight addiction that they were powerless over. So dedicating this and so many other stories I could go into about my father and my mother, but I wanted my father and mother to be known in this pathway of self discovery. My mother and my father and I shared a name, and I had many different names over the years. Then there was a period of time where I did not want to be called anything. I did not want to be called or referred to on any level. And one of the things I was sharing previously on one of the other shows was if someone calls you by a certain name, you know where you know them from. If they call you by a certain name, it is known what time, space, continuum, in the period of your life where they know you from. So if someone was to call me Rec, then they know me for at least 35 years. Back in the day, that was it. It was Rec. You understand what I'm saying? That was a name that was chosen in the time and space, continuum at that particular point in time. So if they call me Mukmin, then they know me from another time. It's still at least around at the same sort of time frame where that goes. Folks may know you from different time, space, continuum. Uh, they know me in the military. They knew me by another name. So the names are around the period and some of the aspects that deal with that from that regard are names that are welcoming and names that are haunting. Right. So my mother, my father, and I, we shared a name. And when my mother left that particular school, she changed all of our names into names that were close to our family members for all intents and purposes to honor them. And I was named after my cousin who passed away before his 17th birthday. So I had that name associated with that life for a very early period of my life. I think 17, 18 years, whatever the case may be. But I didn't want to be called that name. And when I was in school, I struggled with that. I struggled with that identity crisis or crisis of identity in that realm because the names that we had were sacred to us. And then for me to, for that name to be changed, I was in conflict with that personally. So something that was a strive, with my own children, that I would give them names close to divine, close to God, close to where the space of reverence would be. So with my sons, I named them intentionally. And for all of the things that I shared about the disdain for a name or a name that I was given, I did the same thing with my children. Because I saw later on the wisdom in which my mother had, and some of the things I share in regards to storytelling. One of your first stories is your birth story, and the other is your naming story. So if you know the conditions of your birth and your birth story, there's a part of you that connects to your parents and your ancestry, and then when you know your naming story, why your name was chosen becomes another thing. Right? So you don't seek external validation in that case. So for my sons, that I wanted them to have the name of Allah, because that's which season in which they were born. They were born in the name of Allah as I was. So the family Muhammad was a family name that uh, we were given. And there was a connection between Muhammad and my mother and father, the work that they did. They did the work of Muhammad. And Mu'min and Mu'mina, one of the 99 attributes of Allah is Al Mu'min, the believer, loosely translated. It's a couple other translations, but the believer. So my mother and father did the labor of Allah in the community because of their belief in Allah and their belief in the people. So there are aspects of the Holy Quran where Allah is talking to Muhammad, the person, and there's aspects in the Holy Quran where Allah is talking to Muhammad, the people. So for those who will come and seek to change things with their head, their heart, their hands, and their mouth, those became the people of Muhammad. So when Muhammad came, those people would be responsible for bringing about a transformation that the people were not comfortable with, but with their trust and their faith. And the messenger that was sent amongst them, they would reform themselves from the inside out. So that was my mother's work. That was my father's work. My father's work would lead him into tumultuous times, as a revolutionary, as one who would see prison for most of his life and who would have to seek to father his children uh, through lives that he had to live, connected, disconnected, connected, disconnected, connected, disconnected. So that was a part of his life. And I understand that conviction as a man that I did not understand as a child. So for my children, the parenting approach was a lot different. And when it was time to reform, I asked their assistance in my reformation. So for my sons, Jaheim and Jakari, I gave them ineffable names that would speak to the divine essence, that they would be able to fight through these aspects of themselves that I had given them that were not fully functional to them. My son Jahiram, he's named after my grandfather, Randall Williams Sr., and Jakari has my second attribute, born. So Jahiram Randall Allah and Jakari born Allah. I never wanted them to have to wonder who they are. That was a thing that I lived through, and I never wanted that for them. But they have their own trials, right? Each seeker to its own has its own trials. So they had their own trials. If it wasn't an identity trial, it's some other crisis that life in this path has for them. So to them, I wrote, "You are the future I fight for. You're not just my blood. You are my prophecy made manifest. May this book guide you as you walk into your greatness." They are the reasons why I began writing. I was about 9 years old. I believe I told this story before a few times. I was about 9 years old, and my mother came to me and told me she wanted me to write a book. About nine. And my relationships with books over the years had always been a solace. My mother understood very young with me that as long as I had a book, the world was safe. And she figured out if I did not have a book in my hand, everything else was up for grabs. So, needless to say, I had a lot of books along the pathway, a lot of books and a lot of life lessons that were lived. So, I was 9 and I began writing, the conceptual space of these books. That there was a book, I envisioned the cover. I saw a Klansman with two men on the puppet strings, two black men on the puppet strings that were seeking to take each other's lives. I didn't have a title, but it was going to be a collection of essays on how the external forces and the internal forces that exist within us cause us to be at war with one another, and that the ruling classes that are about benefit off of our destruction. It's 9 years old. With this kind of analysis in regards to what it is, right? Uh, so I began writing the book. As I said, it was going to be a collection of essays on topics that affect Black life. That was, the book. And I began writing, and in true Gemini fashion, I started it. And I forgot about it. And I never went back to it. So that was 9. It was about 6 years later where I saw the book and I looked at the cover and I said, this is the book I was going to write. But, if you do not utilize what Allah gives you in this time, it goes to someone else who could be able to do it. And I'm so glad that the brother who the idea came to picked up the book in his head and began to write from his head and his heart. And it became mass produced to the world. And the brother's name is Akil, and the book is From Niggas to God. So I had the cover in my head, the same concept, everything. I started it and he finished it. And it's a 2-part volume series, and it's been helpful over the years for many people that I've come in contact with. And I was thankful that he was in a position to have people that was behind him to be able to make sure that that idea saw the light of day and is still being utilized as a transformation tool for many people. So these books that I write now are for my 9-year-old self and akin for my children. So they will always have a reference to be able to see themselves and to be known in a space that there's motivation internally and externally, and that they have a father that will speak to them and for them. For them. All right. See what else I want to read from here. Let's see. All right. Chapter 1, Pillars of Purpose. This is Reflections 1 through 25. And I wanted to make sure that I had some imagery that spoke to every aspect of our existence, right? So, reflection 1, knowledge is the first step, right? Knowledge is the foundation of all things in existence. So, before there's a strategy, there must be yourself. Did not find my purpose in a textbook or a classroom. Once I knew what I wanted, I found it in the mirror. Knowledge of self is not a slogan, but a system for rebirth. I went through this process of life, death, and rebirth. I don't know how many times along the way. Life, death, rebirth, life, death, rebirth, on the path and the journey to find self. And every time that I thought I got close to it, it began again. I began my walk in this world not as a name, but as a question. Each answer I found shaped me And each lie I exposed sharpened me. I even lied to myself a lot and made promises and pacts and all kinds of things in that place, as you do along the way of self discovery. So, as a question, who am I? What am I doing here? So, a question upon a question upon a question, right? And so I say to every brother and every sister, start with the question: who were you before they told you who you were? Who are you? They said two of the most important days that exist in a person's life is the day you were born and then the day you find out why, right? So who were you prior to somebody telling you who they think you are? Your name is not what they gave you. It's what you claim through your work and witness. And so your name, as KRS-One may have said, is connected to your nature, right? In Nile Valley cultural civilization, they would say that your name or your ren is connected to your destiny or your sha'i. So your destiny or your sha'i and your ren, they are both forces. Ren is a force and sha'i is a force. So from the family of Nite or the family of the gods, their duties and tasks are to play out. So your name, your ren. Uh, the Bible says a good name is better than gold. So when you look at your name, are you living in accordance to your name? Are you living in accordance to your nature? Or are you living in accordance to someone else's name and someone else's nature? Unlike self, other than self. And it's what you claim through your work and your witness. So what you cleave to, what you bear witness to, and how you follow that up in your words and your ways and actions. So takeaway. Begin your day not with noise, but with knowing where you come from, what you stand on. Stand for. So that ancestry that I was speaking about earlier, that's a part of your representation. Are you being the best ambassador for your bloodline? Would they lay claim to you? Would they be proud of you? In your daily reflection, look at your actions, look at your speech, and look at your dealings with people. And some of those things I dealt with over the years. And there are many times where I had done dishonor to my family, both living and both in the realm of the ancestry. So seeking tauba, Arabic word for repentance, metanoia in the Greek, right? 180-degree shift in thought. So in the space of these reflections and building and doing, it's become something that was a path in life that begin with who I say I am. And then the evidence and what I say and do being akin one another. Let's see what else I got. I'm going to do too much over here. Read something else. Let me see. I'll deal with that. Reflection 14, forgiveness is fire. I used to think forgiving made me weak. Then I realized holding on made me sick. I forgave not to excuse others, but to exhale. Some people will never say sorry. Forgive them anyway for yourself. I won't forget. I choose not to be a prison guard for old pain. Now, forgiveness is the pathway back out of the muck and the mire of the minefield of the mind, the battlefield of the heart, and a place for ascension in the realm of spirit. Vendetta is a chief mark of trauma. So when I looked at forgiveness, I used to think that was some chump stuff. I didn't realize the sickness that existed within me in that way. So in that space when I'm speaking about not to excuse but to exhale, being upset, as my mother taught, it shuts down your immune system for 6 to 8 hours. So the job of your immune system is to keep your body in a space of homeostasis and to fight off free radicals or foreign invaders that seek to enter into your body. That's its job. So if you are consumed by anger, you are susceptible to the toxins and the poisons that your immune system seeks to rid your body of, seeks to rid your mind of. And in that reflection, I wrote, release is the real revenge. So, in essence, write a letter. You'll never sin, say everything, then let it go. I had to write a few letters over the years because once it's out, it's no longer in you. It's no longer a trigger. It's no longer something that somaticizes inside of your being, inside of your mind. No longer something that eats away at you and plagues everybody around you. Once you let it go, you let it go. I read 16. Reflection 16, ancestry is armor. Whenever I doubt myself, I picture my grandmother praying, my father standing, and my mother sacrificing. That's armor. I'm not alone. I'm carried. I may live in this century, but I wear centuries inside me. That makes me unshakable. I won't say we all have doubting moments because I can't speak for everybody, but I have moments of doubt, plenty of moments of doubt where things looked unclear. But in those moments, I did not give way to them. I did not give way to them. I acknowledged them in those moments, and I thank that moment because that moment comes from a place that wants to keep you safe. We call it defense mechanism. something that wants to keep you safe, something that doesn't want to push you out of your comfort zone, wants you somewhere place safe. So when I think about my grandmother and her prayers, my father standing up, facing adversity and challenges most of his life, and my mother sacrificing, giving of herself and her life for her children, her grandchildren, and then the universal family. I'm fortified. I remember who our laborer was. So being mindful of your armor and your army, those who sojourn and walk this way with you, and that you represent them and that they represent you, it's akin to one another. You are never walking alone. Your bloodline walks with you. Your spirit guides walk with you. And then those spirits and light beings that you attract to you walk with you as well. Takeaway: learn the names and the stories of your elders. Speak them aloud before big moments. Something I've done on a multitude of occasions. Just wanting to picture our people in a righteous light. I got my brother Faru, be my over here, amazing brother, doing an amazing work in Philadelphia and wherever place that his light and his heart touch. And his brother Kamua over there, with them in urban shamans, the music of the gods together, drumming at different festivals and different places throughout the globe, circumnavigating the globe with their minds and their missions. A mission of reformation, a mission of love, a mission of truth. Both of them are great lights. You see Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. Robert Steve Kofi Sr., peace and blessings be upon him. And two of my African centered psychologists in mind and in being from the ancestral route. Dr. Bobby Eugene Wright, peace and blessings be upon him, and Dr. Amos Wilson, peace and blessings be upon him. So, just want y'all to see a little bit of the work. Go through the pages real quick. I see my sister K Fighter in the building over here, doing some work. I believe we were discussing the Judas and the Black Messiah, I think, on this episode right here. Sister Dr. Oya Ma'at and her family with Dr. Anthony Browder of the Browder Files with the series Mel Trek. Right? So my sons personally watched this as part of their curriculum when they were young. Loved the series and loved the work that her and her family got together to create Ed Anime Productions. So really wanted to take time to pay homage and ode as precursory work for the ones in our community who exist in a righteous manner for our families and our future. Of course, I got my brother Killer Priest, The Son Solomon, aka Solo Gems, in the building. So you look at your internal, external family, and those who have welcomed you in as family, brothers of mine, in the cause of the just. Right? So, God, Killer Priest, Solo Gem. I know y'all see me over there. If y'all in tune every Wednesday for the Royal Priesthood segment, and this is one of the spaces on the Podcraft, one of those many times we was over there all together. So myself and Kai Zodiac in the Zoom, Killer Priest, Solo Gems, Rasul, and Dave Flores on the screen. I see him. Wanted to recognize being a part of the collective mission of upliftment and empowerment. So wanted to deal with that a little bit, and two strategic photos that I put here in the interview space with two of the greatest interviews that I had the opportunity to be able to conduct here on Do the Knowledge Radio. Dr. Baina Bello, doctor, professor, mother, grandmother, wise woman, just a master in regards to her work and sacrifice in bringing us the Austerity connection to Haiti, misnomer as Haiti, and the stories of and the truth of Hispaniola through the lens of a cultural, historical, and psycho-spiritual lens. And Baba Awa, Prince Asiel Ben Israel, the Shagrir, the ambassador of the kingdom of Yah, peace and blessings be upon him, honors to him and his family, sharing some of his life and his story and his legacy still, here on Do Knowledge Radio via his story and via the voices of Zion Radio that we were able to have on Do Knowledge Radio for a 2-year period, and working directly with one of his children, Nasik. Crown Prince, and continuing on his work and the work of his family and the work this said nation in that regard. So, two in regards to defining moments of many in my interview experience. So, it's just my intro given to me by my Gemini sister Ashe Kenyetta, a masterful mind and a creatress who took the time and the energy and the inspiration to be able to not only give me this backdrop but this intro and web design. So she gave her Ashe touch. Anyway. So my brother Kai Zodiac, who many know as Colleague Scientific, one of his joints, I had to make sure that I included it in the pantheon as well. One of my favorite joints. Boom Baptism, dope joint. And two of my brothers, man, the Black Dot and Lil Jamar, masterminds, right? When we start to talk about our story, when we start to talk about our collective experience, when we start to talk about hip hop, we start to talk about everything, there are folks who will give you the truth, whether you like it or not. And both of these brothers are truth seekers and truth tellers, you know. And they always honored here, always loved here, and always answer the call, you know, when I speak to them. Whether it's here, whether it's in the physical, whether it's over the phone, whatever the case may be, uh, vanguards for exposing the thin veil that exists, that is the difference between hip hop culture and the hip hop industry. I understand both. Go to one of my elders, as an elder family, right? Uh, when you hear the word Black Power, it might seem as if it's, something that doesn't mean anything anymore. But as long as this man and his wife are alive, it means everything, right? So this is Baba Mukasa and Mama Maimuna, uh, the man who coined the term Black Power, and the woman who has stood by his side throughout all of the adversity, everything. He survived. I don't know how many assassination attempts, including a bullet to the skull, and still continues to stand strong throughout the world. This message, uh, Black empowerment. So I wanted to make sure that in one of those personal spaces, as close to me as possible, that I'll ever be with the public, that he is featured here as well. So I think that's it for right now. But I wanted to read some passages. I wanted to reflect on something. I wanted y'all to be able to see, there's more to it than a couple of pages, right? There's more to it than a couple of pages. And my fervent prayer is that brothers and sisters will continue to get the word out in a message that is close to them, that speaks, from their essence, whatever this is. Tell your story however you need to tell your story. You are most qualified. You are most qualified to share your story in a way that is most attractive and most powerful and palatable to you. So with that, I say peace and love, and we'll be back on schedule. You understand what I'm saying? We'll be back on schedule in a way that the family will love. So you can get all of these books. I was about to leave without saying how you get all of these books. 13 books in this series, and you can get them via PayHip, Cash App, or PayPal. PayPal.me/through the knowledge radio, or Cash App $knowledge won't allow. If you want those books either one of those ways, then include your email and I send them to you expeditiously. All right. And or you can use payhip.com/voices of the diaspora. Okay. Uh, so yeah, be back on a more consistent basis. I'll be putting out the schedule of the shows either today or tomorrow by the latest. So, there's some predictability about when we will be on. Got some special guests coming up. And once they are confirmed, you'll be able to see. But I think you'll be surprised. And like I said, catch me every Wednesday for the Royal Priesthood Wednesday segment. on the platform, the Killer Priest Podcast. 100K subscribers and growing. All right. So honest to my fam. Honest to the Unsolved hip hop master storyteller. So with that, it's been another episode of Meet the Author series. Your brother Knowledge on the line. We will be back soon. And I believe we'll be back tomorrow with the Meet the Author series. We're going into another volume. Again, just to get y'all a behind the scenes look. And this is what happens when you finally give your thoughts a voice.
The painter, brother's letter. I should cut my ear off like Van Gogh. Stop performing at the Klan shows. Watch myself from the audience. Play piano with lit candles. I mean, I'll still perform, but the thrill is gone. I don't feel as strong, maybe cause the wheel is torn. I clutch in the ball cause I'm sick to my gut. Then I brushed off the dust, stood up like I was touched by healing palms. I picked up my shield and 3 rocks as I'm hearing psalms. Know ye not that ye are gods? And I've been blocked by bouncers, overlooked by the announcers. I'm in the stand with the fans, which told me many of my album was like a counselor. They said songs like Then From Now, got them from then to now. Even deja vu, they said the old man was you. In the reoccurring nightmare, where you kept coming back around. I took a picture with him, then he showed me a picture of his daughter in a cap and gown. He said he put her through college because your words stood up for knowledge. Said to be honest, you like a prophet. I said stop it. He said what made you right before quarantine take us to Nebula in a rocket? I said it was just my journey to the planet of gods, a divine intervention. Just a mantra I said for the monsters in my head. Kept reliving, but we true and living. Like 3 supermen then, he said who you kidding? That was a beautiful listening. Clan came on and music was hitting. They did 4th chamber while I talked to strangers about his divorce and child support papers. Got it restrained in court for his anger. On the cross cause of haters. Ascos finish up with the black suede while it dawned. They look around, I'm not alarmed. They search backstage and I'm gone. March finish the set, play the next song. Play the next. Nobody would remember. He hardly was a member. But the gods was his avengers. With the bars always an inventor. From kindergarten to jobs at the center. From the mini mart, parking cars for the winter. Kept a penny jar, what's the odds I get injured? Dreams of a football star was hindered. My lovers died, my brother's demise. My first son arrived in September. Virgo, no more pop locking like a turbo. Stopping in Stockton in my circles. Metanetsa, love was eternal. Ancestors, embrace her. Sword in my dreams like Jacob. Wrestle with the devils before I wake up. Or was that an angel in flames who renamed you? Killer priest to join the Wu-Tang school. Say to them, oh son of man, now children go in the land. Now I'm on send them 5 deadly venoms.
Freak out, yo!
Yeah, ma. Ma, say what up.
Huh?
Say what up.
Say what?
Say what's up. Ma, you look like grandma.
Oh, you looking at me